nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. What's at this time?
Before we fix for attendance, we have no Marcy. This would be the only one that I can.
She's not on.
You got your three, so it's you, Tim.
She's not on the sheet. She's not.
He's sitting in now,
Yeah.
this season, this year for Austin. Michael is.
Mike is up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Oh,
good.
that's just for
Okay.
people.
So we're just missing Marcy for attendance there. What's that?
That's just for people that want to speak.
Okay.
I guess everybody wants to speak today. That's fine.
It's good. Shoot out their name. All right, so we need to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second it.
Been moved and seconded. Is somebody, do we have a secretary still now, or no, we lost Keith?
Yeah.
This recording? Yes. So I think that we have to vote on who's secretary. and
Yeah, you'll probably have to appoint, or
That's probably.
have an
today.
election of
Election
officers.
of officers. Tim, are you up for secretary job?
I did it once before. Nobody liked it, so.
Nobody liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I got yelled at by Pete.
By who?
Is Marcy?
Pete Augustine.
Augustino.
She detailed.
Well, then
I don't know.
Pete can come and do them and not
I'm
Marty.
taking Marcy's place or just you.
Yeah, shoulder
Oh,
put in. He's,
Oh,
it happened Monday, so I don't know, he's not feeling well apparently.
Nope.
Well, anyway, moving on. So we, all in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. Consent items to approve our minutes from 12:03. Do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion with that.
All right,
so
I've never seen them.
it's moved and seconded that we adopt the meeting minutes from 12:03:25.
List of all.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
You say Mark?
So we need elect officials now?
Yeah, it's, yeah.
All right. Where we're starting with that, I can't remember. how we got-
El Presidente.
We started with
President's
president.
life.
I nominate Jerry. I think he did a good job last year. And the year before.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Peter
we're,
does a good job.
I'll second.
that's a
Okay.
motion.
Oh, yeah, second.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks. Okay, Vice President? So,
Dave.
we would go to Dave again? Yeah. If anything happens to me, Dave,
I don't think I can keep up with you, but
He did a
I'll
good
do my
job when you
best.
weren't here.
if if I take a bullet or something.
well, it's okay. You might slip and fall or
Yeah.
something.
So all in favor of Dave for Vice President, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Nobody opposed? We should. All right. Motion carried. So we need a secretary treasurer, that the other officer, so we have three. We need a motion to elect a secretary.
I'd say Marcy, since she's not here.
You know, she is so she's not here, that it would be good, but she is so busy with everything
Yeah.
else. That might-
Kim then. Kim does that sometimes.
As long as I don't get yelled at.
Yeah,
You won't get yelled at.
you can write under an assumed name here.
I don't have a recorder today. This will be recorded. We'll forward it to you. It's cheap.
Always
You
think
give
of
that
it.
in tonight.
It's been moved and seconded that Tim Creason be our secretary / treasurer. Is it treasurer too?
There's
We don't
no
have any
treasurer,
money.
no money, sir.
Okay, just
So what money
second.
do you?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Tim is in. All right, we're moving on with calls and reviews report.
All right, so for Tim, Mike, and Will, you'll see in the book there's a kind of a breakdown. We do a breakdown of, like a comparison from last year to this year. These numbers are, the end of last year, so next meeting, the February meeting. Your
You
book,
didn't get one? I'll use this one.
so we ended up with 1,100, right? Yep, well over 1,100, like I had stated in my speech at the Christmas dinner, so. But yeah, 1103 versus, so we saw an uptick of almost 200 calls from the previous years.
So that 1103, that's everything from last year, that's counting December too?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
that's where we ended.
Okay. So
To
1100.
the right there, you can see how many were spent in the town, in Hudson Township, the toll road, and then ultimately, Hollow Township was the bulk of that. The inspections, right, we don't have a real comparison from the year before, but that's kind of where we ended up, at the end of the year. As you can see, medical calls are where the bulk of our activities.
There was a story on WNDU a day or two ago about apparently the toll road, the number of wrecks on the toll road has really skyrocketed, especially this direction. Are we seeing it?
I don't think so.
We just had one of what they were talking about.
Yeah, we had a doozy of
Yeah.
one,
Couple
at
days
least
ago.
40 cars Monday morning. And so honestly, we don't spend a lot of time up there. That's the worst I've ever seen the toll road. I've seen the conditions on the toll road worse, but that kind of pile up and literally very few injuries.
Yeah, and I think that's what the story was this winter, the way the winter has been, there's been more
I just wondered if we had,
multi-vehicle crashes on the toll road
but we haven't seen that ourselves.
Okay.
this Monday.
It's Monday.
I heard sirens all day
Mhm.
on that toll road,
Yep.
all day long.
I think we were out there 3 or 4 times that day.
Mhm.
And we were pretty busy that day in
And
general.
we had half the county out there.
Yeah, we had City of South Bend, Clay. We called Kankakee at one point because we had a secondary accident behind the first accident. So yeah, it was.
So I'm looking here, chief, we had fire incidents, we had no fires last year? Is that what that means?
No,
I mean, that's
No.
good. We want
No,
no
we
fires.
did.
That means the guy doing it messed it up.
the report guy, our stats guy screwed that one up. That's okay.
So it's kind of mid-December, NFIRS, National Fire Incident Reporting System, transitioned out, and new federal requirement came in, ERIS, National Emergency Response something,
Uh-huh.
and that takes care of everything, all the reporting differently. So like before, how we had the list of like code 321 was a medical run, stuff like that,
Yeah.
that we would list out. Well, all that's gone now.
Changed.
And now it lists, like this says, fire incidents, hazardous situation, no emergency. So like if you arrive for a fire alarm, but the alarm's going for no reason, that's a no emergency call. So I was trying to merge
Mhm.
Data.
old data to the new data, and obviously I messed that up.
Well, I'm just trying to figure, so we had 1,100 runs, but it's 670, so a little over half of them were medical. And the rest had to be car accidents or fires, what, I mean, about, what are we talking, fires, 30?
People, well, let's
I'm just guessing here, I'm just trying to get a
look back at November and
ball here.
that'll tell you, cause the problem I was having was figuring out what matches, what's the crosswalk. So for November, number of fire runs we had was 202,
Oh, as of November,
But-
whole year, okay.
but like by the old system, the fire alarm is a fire run.
Even if there's no fire.
Right, because a fire run while you got dispatch.
Mhm.
With the new system, that's recorded completely differently. So it's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
merging of data and
Okay.
like that was.
Is it like Chris Lozane call as a mutual aid or?
Mhm.
I'm just glad that, we were the December uptake on that, so.
Yeah, because we got in
start off
early.
fresh in November.
And though it kind of clouds this conversation, all the rest of the departments, we're the only one that transitioned early. Because we wanted to get it out of the way, because if you start having those problems now, we're already into this. all of our neighbors are trying to transition to it now. And so they're hitting their heads against the wall. We've already kind of done that. So we're already working through, we're further along in that process than they are.
My fear was they want to transition on January 1 when everybody's on vacation. If something doesn't work right. So we went mid-December.
So what really stands out here on your kind of vertical bar graph is Olive Township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say we take the Amazon
That's primarily Amazon.
out of the equation, and I'm guessing that these are pretty similar in height.
I don't think so. We are out there quite a bit, but it wouldn't, well, Chet's gonna tell you in a second.
That's behaving themselves down there.
Doing pretty
I mean,
good,
it's-
yeah,
Which
doing
I
pretty
think it actually is pretty good. It's nothing to be envious of. Oh, you lucky duckies, and now you have 578 calls for help.
Probably afraid of Austin, the new trustee down there.
Yeah. Oh, keep that. Yeah, that is, I'm trying to think for the last couple of years here. Do you guys remember Bob and Dave? You guys have been around here?
It's fine, I'll get it.
I don't remember being that lopsided.
That's what I'm saying, that's good.
Bro, we eat. And then the one thing I want to draw your attention to is that instances of multiple calls, that started to come down. We made some operational changes. I think we were up around 30.
Yeah, I remember it was 30-some%.
30-something%,
What's that mean exactly?
where we have more than one thing going on at a time. So, you know, we internally had that discussion on how we better handle that. And so that, we got that number, and so it'll be interesting to track that now for the first quarter of 26 to kind of make sure that these changes are consistent.
How were you able to reduce multiple calls?
Well, the one main thing is,
Don't answer the phone.
you know, I wish, but no, making sure that engine company gets back in service quicker.
After it goes out, you mean?
Right, so let's take Hamilton Grove just as a,
Yeah.
for instance. We had, lady fall, broke her hip, the engine company goes to help the ambulance get her up and all that stuff.
Okay.
So one of the changes we have is that we can take that, engine company, and once they get there, they can put themselves available, right? So they're available to take that second call.
Okay.
And so that, say they get an accident, then they can make sure that respond, so that we're not calling those other outside agencies to do that. Yeah, that's the one thing, and it reduces our mutual aid support as well. The other thing on that sheet, any questions on that
Yeah,
top piece?
okay,
Wayne?
is there any more questions?
The bar graph down there, that's the thing that kind of shows you, compares you 24 to 25, right? And just how every month we're exceeding that calls for service this year. And this year to date, we're still tracking, it's about 3 calls a day, and we're still at that meeting. So we're still maintaining the 25 levels and this small sample size for 26.
So just so the orange is taller than the blue.
Yes, sir.
It looks like about
Every
10%, 10%
Except
across the board.
Except for November.
Except for November.
September was exactly the same.
Yeah. But just say, just as an average, I would
June.
think that's like about 8 to 10% maybe across there. That we have that many more calls this year than last
Yeah.
year. Wow. Not more traffic.
Moving down to the next graph, the call volume by time of day. You know, you can see that pretty much at 6 a.m. as that's when it starts ramping up, and you pretty much stay busy all day. You know, and then after 7, it does start coming back down, but it's not really until midnight that there's a little bit of a
Do we have the same number of workers on all three? Well, it's the same through the state. The whole
Same
time.
for
They
the-
go through the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay.
that will be that of that report. As we dial the nearest information in, we'll continue to add to that report so you guys can see. And if there's information that you'd like to see that we're not providing, you just let us know, because we have all the data at our fingertips. So it'll it'll be pretty easy to capture whenever you guys want to see.
Josh,
Mhm.
so with it ramping up at 7, when is the shift change? Isn't it?
It's at
usually
7,
at 7 o'clock?
Yep.
How's that working out?
It actually works okay, because people are there before 7. I come in about 6:45, so should there be any overlap, we're able to handle that without affecting the overtime, because because the thing is, if you're holding people over, you're paying them a minimum
Right.
amount of hours to stay.
Right.
So
So are we running into that at all?
not really. It does happen on occasion, but it's not as prevalent as you think.
Okay. Just, yeah, didn't know if
And
it
the
was
crew,
something.
the outgoing crew would much rather go home. The other piece is, remember, now we're working 4896, so
Yeah,
that first and the second day, you don't have that shift change.
right.
So they're already here.
Yeah.
And the crews are typically up by 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Start their day.
So we have
Okay.
some people on 48-hour shifts then? Is that what-
They're all,
That's our new scale.
yeah, we did a trial last year because, one of the other, Center Township down south of us, has run that shift, and it's gotten huge ratings, right? And so our union looked at it. It was actually, put in the last collective bargaining agreement that if we wanted to do that, we could trial that.
Mhm.
Doesn't cost us any more or less money.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
The workers want, it, yeah.
And so they tried it for 6 months, and it wasn't unanimously, but it was pretty overwhelmingly in favor of this. And actually, we're starting to see bigger departments. I think Portage, Indiana is trialing it.
Mhm. So what is it? Just
On
throw it out
Carmel,
there
this
real
way.
quick.
Carmel's trying
So
it.
a person works, say, 24 hours,
48.
it starts with 48,
48. It's 48. It's
2 days on,
2
4
days
days off.
4 days
and
off.
then you have 2 off, and then another 48, and then 4 days off.
Nope,
You got it wrong.
Okay.
it's, you work
48 hours.
48 hours in a row, and then you get 96 off in a row.
Period. So
then
you
I'm-
started
Three
again.
days, you get 4 off, 2 on, 4 off, 2 on, 4 off.
You have
Like
3
this?
shifts,
That'd be a pretty good shift.
so you got 2 on,
I don't think I
and then the
would.
next shift is 2 on,
Yeah.
third shift is 2 on, and then it goes back to first shift. So that's how you
Yeah, it was a
usually get the
newspaper
4
report,
days
it's
off.
easy, you work 24/7, 365.
Mhm.
All right.
So do they like split up who's sleeping at what time?
The station, with the station alerting, they just, when they decide they want to go to bed, they go to bed. We have, depending on call type, we have, amounts of time that they have to be out the door, so.
Tell them what that is.
90 seconds is, 60 to 90 seconds is,
You want everybody out the
we
door?
want everybody out the door.
Wow.
bad, huh?
What was it?
You go
for
from
volunteer days?
5 minutes.
Zero to screaming down the road
Yeah.
and from a dead sleep, so.
There's a train stuck on the tracks, by the way, between here and Hudson Lake.
Yeah,
Get a
well, we
call
don't,
over here.
we don't let them go that way.
Oh, they
They
don't
go
go that
through
way.
the viaduct, yeah.
And now the snow's about got it covered over.
All right. Any other thing on the call? Reviews and stuff, we're all good with everybody? Okay. Small group activities, what's that mean?
So it actually, 4 is gonna kind of go into 5. So this year, one of the things that we want to try to accomplish is at the end of last year, we saw a barrage of are there opportunities for our territory to expand? The meeting with Portage Township, would Will's now that Brian Gray's Brian Gray's the trustee over there, is there an opportunity to expand into that area?
Brian's at Will's Township now?
He took over trustee spot there.
So
I don't know.
what does that look like? And I think as the elected officials, are there genuine opportunities? Do we need to grow? Do we not need to grow? At some point, when we need to hire, the only way we're ever gonna get any more money is to expand the area, and that sounds terrible. It's, because it's not a money grab, but to support a bigger staff, you have to have more area to cover. It comes with a whole
Yeah.
set of problems, but those problems we think we can overcome. But when I talk about small group committees, it's 1 or 2 people at a time being able to investigate these opportunities. We may, there may be, other things that come up But instead of having this whole board try to meet once a week to try to discuss these situations that come up, we can form these small group committees and I can work with Bob, or Chad can work with Dave, or we both can work with an Olive Township, something to accomplish more work without burdening the whole. Because it could very quickly become overwhelming to ask.
So what are you thinking? One person from each of the three entities?
Right. And we can divide that up as those opportunities come, right? And I'm not saying that tonight.
Yeah.
We need to do anything, but I want to float that out there to say that, you know, the other thing is, and I'm gonna roll quickly into township elimination, but understand that we also have to have people keeping tabs of what's going on at the state. Tim does a great job right now sending us pretty regularly these bills that are coming up that could affect this group.
I was just checking that.
He's on it.
You know, we have to keep in mind that currently, if the House bill, and I think you said it was 1350,
1315.
that bill would effectively get rid of Hudson Township, effective mid-26. So theoretically, it could be, and then we would have to deal with at the county level. It wouldn't be a township level thing anymore. The fire territory, you wouldn't lose fire protection. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when it comes to budget time, or is the county going to send a representative to this, or are they going to want to deal with that? You know what I mean? It becomes very impactful to us.
You cover the same thing, but it becomes a matter of who's gonna pay for it.
Right. Right. So, as a group, we all need to keep an eye on it. The Senate bill's a little bit different. I think they're trying to axe the bottom X of townships, and I don't. It doesn't affect Olive Township currently because Olive Township operates a fire department. But Hudson Township does not. They contract. It's not a contract, but it's done by a resolution, an agreement, an interlocal agreement. So, we are keeping very tight track on this to try to keep you guys informed. Everything, it's still in its committee phases. The Indiana Township Association doesn't support that bill. But,
The House bill is stuck in committee,
right, and could die this week or next week.
and if it doesn't get passed, don't get confused by the language. When they say get passed, you have a House bill and you have a Senate bill. The House has to pass their legislation, the Senate has to pass their legislation by the 28th.
Over the same bill?
No,
No, different bills, huh?
right, they have different bills.
Okay.
They have to pass whatever they have, any bill, not just the townships,
Okay.
by the 28th. And then if it doesn't get acted on, it's dead.
The
If it does,
28th of this month?
yes,
Okay.
if it is acted on, the bill doesn't become law. What it is they then flip. The Senate bills go to the House, because
Oh.
the House has to approve them, and then the House bills go to the Senate.
When you say after that, you mean approved?
Right.
Okay.
And as of right now, I was not trying to be rude, I was just looking up to see where it happened today. The House bill, you're correct, is stuck in committee. The Senate bill's moved out of committee.
Yep.
In fact, it's had its second reading.
Yep.
So the way that I read that, it sounds like the Senate bill is the one that's gonna move,
So who's our senator then?
Ms. Gotsky.
And what do they want?
He did a good, it's not as bad as,
It's not as bad as
Not as
the
bad
House
as-
bill, but they would basically cull a percentage of the townships.
Townships?
Now, I don't know, because it's, the only problem with that bill is it's vague in a lot of areas. Again, that, it could mean the same thing for Hudson Township. We just don't know, because since they've left it vague, we don't know what that final verbiage is gonna be and how it's gonna affect anybody.
If they did get rid of the township, it wouldn't do anything with our relationship with the
No, but
Hudson.
with Hudson, no, but that interlocal is gonna have to change, because our agreement would be no longer with a township, it would have to go back to, LaPorte County, and I don't, if it's their council or their, commissioners. But at this point, we've already started to try to reach out to those folks because it matters. We have to reestablish that agreement to make sure that there won't ever be any interruption. But now when we go to budget time, I have to come to town and I have to do that at the county level in LaPorte County.
Where it gets really sticky is, well, I think you've done a really good job summing up, is if the Senate bill passes, it's possible that, again, they would pass it and then it would go to the House and they'd have to go through the House and pass it over there. But it would be possible that they might say, okay, LaPorte County only can justify having 10 townships, right? And so they might say, so we are combining, and I'm not saying this is what would happen, it's just a possibility. We are combining Hudson and Kankakee, and it is now the Hudson Township. Well, if that happens, where it gets sticky is, well, now what?
Yeah.
With our relationship.
I think that's the key sounds better.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then the question becomes, now what? Because are we covering Kankakee also, or does Kankakee say we don't want to be
Yeah.
west?
I guess to get you caught up, Mike, so we had, what's called St. Joe County Fire Territory. And that's,
You watched the
I
video.
watched.
okay, so you know, okay, for that meeting, okay, so you're up to snuff on that, so they made their presentation, and we kind of weren't interested this time, it was kind of rushed on us, and
Well, my
don't know how to do that.
concern, and I was watching that, is I know the history. It was Southwest Central was Center, Portage and Warren. And then they separated. And then it was, those township group there
Mhm.
has separated, I think, 3 times.
can't get along, huh?
So if they're having that much problems staying together and now Center's all by itself.
Yeah.
Then, what's going on there?
Yeah.
And if there's no whole nother can of worms there, then we want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
So I would research a lot. I got, a real good friend on Center Township. That's where I started. And,
So you were a fireman?
I can talk to them. Yeah, I was a fireman with Center for 7 years and
Okay.
20 years here.
Oh, okay.
So,
Could you explain to these two about if they pick up, Brian Gray's Township, we can get more money that?
So that's, basically how that worked. It used to work that we could, adjust our rate up, one time, if you take on another area, and you could do that. The laws changed a little bit, but where the advantage is that our rate would then apply to another township, which our rate is, in comparison to, say, a Clay is high, but to a similar department in our similar situation, it's right. It's just where it needs to be. But that tax rate would apply to them. So you open up an additional, revenue stream, basically.
But on something like that, you have to make sure that we cover it.
Right.
And so now we're looking at, okay, do we need a remote, station
Mhm.
for, at least
One.
something,
How
yeah.
far
People
does,
stay
how
out
far
there.
does Will go that way?
Oh,
25 to 30 minutes.
And that's what Warren did, right? Like they opened up their stations along the way. They're like Warren 1, 2, 3, and 4 or whatever to do their thing.
yeah.
Then they got rid of the one further south.
Who's
Yeah,
covering Wills now?
Brian Gray.
pardon me?
Who's covering Wills?
Oh,
Okay.
Warren Township has had 2 stations for as long as I've been involved around here, so since 98. And Portage Township had 1. Center Township had 1. So the original Southwest Central Territory just took all their stations they already had, made them 1. And then, somebody got back in office, removed Warren from the territories, then it remained Portage and Center.
Right.
And then now
Now they removed Center.
they wanted to add Warren to make it a big, actually, they wanted to add about 8 entities when they started that. And,
Warren used to have a
There's-
station down
they're
on
back now.
Trumpstown too.
Yeah.
yeah, and they moved that to Pear Road. Oh, Pear and Grant, is it?
Which is actually they know it's in a bad spot, but what we were told is, it's where we have the land, so that's where we're putting it. And that's kind of a terrible way of looking at it, because you've now exposed your southern residents that were covered before for, and this, again, it sounds like I'm minimizing money, but $30,000 to $50,000 in land costs and land acquisition. But when a station already cost $5 million, what is that
And
extra 50K?
in perspective, when that
1%,
territory
yeah.
was originally forming and they wanted us, and we met with them, they hadn't started the construction on their new station on Quince Road yet. So the question was asked, since you already got your funding, would you consider holding off on that construction until find out what's gonna happen here? Because like if we merged north and west a little bit would be a better spot for that station. And the answer we got was, no, that's land we got. It's in a terrible spot just for Warren Township, but where it's going. And that kind of started at that point, kind of,
Yeah.
turning the wheels. Why?
we shouldn't join up with them.
How much time do we have, like, if this Senate bill passes, then they give it to the,
at the end of February.
oh, that quick, huh?
This is what they call a short session.
And goes in,
Are you meaning though when it would take effect?
yeah, when would it take effect?
It'd probably be July 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, so
typically.
before next year, then this could be having to make some kind of major change here with Hudson. Lake.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Well-
we can't sit on our hands and wait for it. I mean, we do have to wait for it, but we also have to actively, try to pursue the options.
And the whole Wills edition then just even complicates it more because it's in the Fort
Well,
County,
And
know-
there are more reasons that you
you know,
think about.
yeah.
one of the strategies could be that, if we stay far enough out in front of it, and they say they were to combine, Hudson and Kankakee. If we're that far out in front of it, well, we're well better equipped to provide fire service than anybody other than the cities in LaPorte County. And that's not a slight at any of the volunteers. The problem with these bills is that it's making it harder for volunteers that are separate organizations to exist. And so, in the state's view, there's a bunch of waste and fraud going on. And so they start picking on organizations that quite honestly, they're volunteering to take care of the
I don't know how
community.
much fraud can be going on. in the volunteer
Oh, there's
part.
way more than you think.
Is there?
And I'm not,
Yeah.
but you have townships that just pass money along and there's no oversight.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
how do you do that? I mean, anyway.
You know,
Well,
and to further complicate matters, we're the second largest county in the state, you know, so, there's a lot of counties that are a lot smaller. Things are closer together, you know what I'm saying? So,
I think it's gonna be crippling to LaPorte County to say, all of a sudden, I'm sorry, county council, county commissioners, now this is all on your plate. And I think it's pretty unfair because most of those townships are small, they just are. But that's why people move there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know that this would affect anything that we do at all. But was talking to Tom McCormick, he's a board member down in Liberty. And he was saying they were interested in trying to bring in Lincoln and Washington and
They are,
the ones right across the line down there. So you would have this blob from St. Joe and LaPorte County and this blob, St. Joe. and LaPorte County. So then do they end up all together? Again, this is all.
That's what we're looking at,
Who
yeah,
knows?
so, you mind if I go into a little bit? So our options right now anyways are, to go east with Warren and Portage. That is enticing because our tax rates are very similar, so there's not a whole lot of change. Or go south with, Green, Liberty, and anybody else that may be able to join in there, whether it's
Lincoln.
Lincoln and, would Union be in there? Union Center?
well, in St. Joe County,
Yeah, so, we can go down there. The issue there is that their tax rate for fire is so much lower than ours. It's maybe 1/3,
yeah.
if that, of what ours is. And so we have to be very careful to say, okay, let's compromise and we'll cut ours by a third. And, you know, bring it down to like 0.5 or whatever, and then if it doesn't work out and we have to pull out,
We're stuck.
now we're screwed and we can't get back up to what we are right now. And so,
But why would we be willing to go down in the first place?
well, I think that
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
and
Sort ourselves.
that's something that a lot of people will bring up. Well, if you merge,
Mhm.
then you could lower your costs and
needs to
drop
be
your rate.
average.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what we have to remember is that, and what we have to convey to, if we do decide to go south, is the difference between a levy and
What your budget.
what your budget is, what you're actually gonna pull, because this has been confusing to a lot of folks, as you guys remember from the meeting.
Yeah.
You wanna set your levy up higher because that's your potential. It doesn't mean that you have to take it. So then you set your budget, yeah, maybe your budget is down here, but it gives you that availability to grow into that. If you set your levy down here, you're not getting that.
Yep.
You're never gonna get that back and you'll never be able to. And so that's why territories fail.
My
because-
memory's fuzzy, wasn't that an issue with Will's before about what's the levy? They didn't wanna.
There was a
tax
plus.
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, when we went to, when we were discussing with Wills, that's because who it really gets is it's usually not the residents, it's usually the farmers and the business owners that it usually gets. Which I understand, and so it's a difficult decision to make, and it was a difficult decision for all of us to make when we
Well,
jumped into this, because it does affect.
What we see here, I mean, there's too many options until they make their decision, and we should know by the end of February.
What they're gonna do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that'll
It'll be in
lock in
effect, but they
something,
have
at
to
least
pass it by the end of February.
But
Yeah.
until then, we could kind of
kick
take
around a little bit
steps
and think about it a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of options.
But if we
And,
want to have, as far as timelines, I think Josh and I discussed this with other folks, is that it'd be nice to have something figured out by the end of this year. That way we can go into hearings, end of this year, beginning of 27. It would pass by, July of 27? And then we would start it in 28. And so we have to bust it just to get it effective, January of 28. We have to be, aggressive with it.
Are we talking about a new fire station today? There's like a meeting about this next week, right?
Yeah, that's,
Is that on
that's,
our agenda?
yeah,
January 29th.
Okay, so for timeline, where are we at with that fire truck that we ordered and what year?
We're
are
not
we at
really
with
any
that?
further along.
Are we still a couple years out on that?
So the in question one is the brush truck. And
That's
Um, should they call me tomorrow and say, we're ready for our pre-construction meeting, that would be the
The trigger.
trigger. The trigger for us to tell them that we're pulling out of that deal. 'Cause there's no obligation for us to buy it,
the brush truck?
the brush truck.
Okay.
The other trucks, we still have probably another 30 months before we have to.
So where are we at with the brush truck? Do we need it or?
Yes, but the problem is that if
He has.
Allow it to grow.
You're a baseball player.
if
I was the coach.
If St. Joe County's buying it, this is the route we need to go. I talked to Pete today,
Uh-huh.
hopefully we'll know in the next couple of days what the status of that, memorandum of understanding with the county looks like.
So are
So
we gonna buy the brush if they call you tomorrow?
No,
if they call me tomorrow and I don't have an agreement, then no.
we're not buying it, the county's buying it.
Oh,
So we'll have to we have kind of a plan B, but we need to have the funding for plan B, so we really don't have
Yeah.
plan B right now. So
do
what
we
I
have
was,
another brush truck though, or
what's that?
do we have another brush truck, but it's,
We only have one.
Yeah, we have a brush truck
Okay.
now. It's nearing the end of its life.
uh-huh,
And so, like Josh said, he has a plan for a possibility.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't wanna go down a rabbit hole with
Yeah.
it. If we're hoping that they come through and hopefully in the next couple of days we'll know for sure.
And then that other fire truck, It's like 3 of them maybe or something, but that's,
That's
Is that
30
so?
months. Yeah, we have time.
that's still another
We
year
have a
away
little bit
or
of time,
time.
but we're working on that too,
Yeah.
so.
And then what did that guy say? He came in here, made the presentation on a fire station. How long did it need for that? That's several years, right?
It's all, well, it's not exactly, we need about 2 years. I think that we need about 6 months we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Okay,
But, we need about 6 months to design, get the schematics, any changes we need to make, and then about 18 months to build it.
And we have a, worst case scenario, we have a backup plan if we get the trucks before. the
Yeah.
deadline.
Yeah.
I'm gonna park them at my house.
Just need some tarps.
You got a big garage
and
door?
they are kind of locked in on this location?
Yeah.
Because they own the land?
Yeah, so I actually talked to Bill Shalio last, and he shared with me that, so if you're driving out in the industrial park, have you been to the water tower side?
The new water tower?
Yeah, so, directly, basically, a little bit wider than that stretch of land, because there's a temporary road there that's gonna go away.
From the water tower to Highway 2?
No, it would, so Fillmore, there's a temporary street, where Fillmore's still there. But it'll go from Fillmore to the new, to the new GM entrance. It's about 12.8 acres, I think, 12.82 or something like that. It's not all built.
Temporary road,
What's that?
talking about the temporary road?
No, the site is 12.82
Okay.
acres.
Was that the land that GM had extra?
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's gonna be south of the tower along Fillmore?
East.
east. I mean, literally, you would, if you imagine the tower and you're standing on Larison looking at the tower, it's that stretch of land
Okay.
between there. Which, if we're okay with the small, the January 29th meeting. So Will and I have been kind of figuring out, how to proceed with this. We have these, nothing more than, I'm not gonna say they're not empty promises, because maybe they're not empty promises,
They're empty.
but currently they're empty.
Yeah.
That we're.
Nothing's been done, there's been no traction.
That's better, just. go on hold.
Yeah. So the conversation with the county is being driven like, give us a number. What's it gonna cost us? Well, if you ask me today, I'm just gonna shoot some,
50 million.
yeah, 50 million bucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, but that's what I'm gonna tell you, because if you're gonna go out and bond for money, the last thing we're gonna do is cut ourselves short and then be trying to not get what we need. So you're gonna get some absurdly high number. So one of the things that we've talked about is let us proceed with the design of this fire station, right? And when I say design, I'm not saying that we're buying land, doing a bunch of testing on land. What I would say is, and we'll speak to this a little bit, is we're gonna go through this process and put out an RFQ and an RFP, which is request for qualifications, request for proposal. And we're, for a fire station design. That's gonna allow us to pick a building, a company to build it and a company to design it. It's gonna be, because remember, for those who aren't there, we passed this buy, operate, transfer, which is the way we think is best to purchase this. It gives us the most options, and we're gonna get the most out of the taxpayers' money for what we need.
The opposite of what we did for the
Yes.
renovation. where we got
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we set the price, we set the design, and we give it to the contractors, and they can't, if they go over, it's on them. So all the liability is on them. So my proposal, well, I'm not gonna be speaking too much on the 29th, but we're gonna have Rich Taylor from Envoy, who is, we have to receive proposals. I don't want to make this sound like it's shady, but we have to receive proposals, and Envoy's gonna have a proposal. We have a proposal for Whiteman already to do the architectural work for the station. And so what they would do is they would come in and get us to the schematic level of the station. We would sit down and program. We need X amount of beds, X amount of bays. We need X amount of office space, X amount of storage, we need training, this is what we need for this site. And they're gonna put it all in, they will actually go out and do some soil testing as well to make sure that we're not running into any, unseen issues below the ground. But that's gonna come with a cost. Now, what I would say is there is a certain level of risk, right? We could, because this agreement is $30,000 out the door. We'll talk about that in just a second. But we invest $30,000 for a set of schematic designs that are ours then. So if this site doesn't work out, or this funding stream doesn't work out, we still own that right, and we can proceed in other avenues, whether it's doing our own bond or doing whatever, however we're gonna do that. It still provides us some protection. On the plus side, this is also gonna be worked back into the deal, so we can recoup our money on the back end. So when the county does finally decide to fulfill those promises with the bond, like they're telling us, then we'll get that money back in our coffers.
When's this meeting now?
The 29th, next Thursday,
What time?
Week from now.
5:30.
5:30, and it's here, right?
So there'll be, the Whiteman Associates will be there for their piece of the presentation to be able to answer any questions. I have that, I can email share it with everybody here. And then actually Envoy's piece of that project, they're doing it at no cost. So our only current cost, so Whiteman will give the design to the builder will put the price tag on that design. And then we have the money, we have the not to exceed amount to give to the council.
So Envoy's the general contractor. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we figuring another crew of 7 out there, and so in addition to what we've got, and this wouldn't be ticking down any?
Correct. Well, it's really gonna depend on how we land. It depends on how we progress with call volume, right? So you're gonna get more people, you're never retracting from what we have. Now, do we leave a fire engine and an ambulance in town? Do we put, 2 companies, so, whether it be an engine company, however we.
So what, we have 1 ambulance here or 2?
Yeah,
now?
1.
Just have 1.
Yeah,
Staff.
But right now, we have 1 staff, we have 2 ambos.
right.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the people that fill the,
Staff.
And we
The
have
staff.
technically, we
Oh,
have 3
okay.
ambos.
So-
Right, we still have the old one.
right.
Yeah.
For now. You guys are probably on the same page. So what I would say is that, so back to the $30,000. When we proposed this and the only reason we're not doing this, I would have liked to have had this meeting already, but I need to make sure that we have enough, reserve capital to invest in this. Because I can't just come to you guys and say, hey, I need $30,000. We have to have some reserves. We can't just spend our reserves to zero. We're waiting for, the rest of our receivables for 25 should be getting pretty close, so I should have an idea of what we have in reserve before I even suggest this. I just want to get you guys up to speed, because if we do have the money, I would like to move forward with it.
So the meeting on the 29th is, the purpose is what? Whiteman and Envoy's gonna pitch a proposal?
Yes, so they're gonna pitch what they're gonna do for us for that $30,000
Okay,
is what they're gonna do.
okay.
So the reason why there's a big push right now is that we got wind that, the county will be, applying for a large bond using the TIF revenue, right? The projected future TIF revenue. And there's projects for that. We need to be at the top of the
Priority list.
priority list for those projects. Some of those projects, they may not have the information that we're gonna have. So you're more apt to get approved for those, to be included in that bonding cycle, if you already have what we're.
Yeah, if we just throw a number at them and we don't have any supporting documentation to go with it, then they could say, well, you're probably being a little optimistic, so we're gonna back that off a little bit.
Right.
But understand, things that they're bonding for are a rail station at the airport. So our TIF money is gonna be building a train station at the airport.
Has the county managed to come up with any estimate on what they think they're gonna receive in TIF money yet?
They're supposed to have that already, but as of 2 weeks ago, they hadn't had that.
Well, if they're supposed to have it, nobody seems to know it.
The day that we met with, Whiteman and Envoy, the commissioners had a meeting with, the auditor, was the auditor, the assessor? Whatever. To establish that, to establish what their projected revenues were gonna be. Just like everything with them though, you think they were like, hey, we've got our numbers back, instead of having to ask them 17 times in a day, what's that number?
So how does it work? So the county builds the building out there, puts the fire trucks in it. We have to pay for the workers? Is that
Right now,
on us?
As of right now. But again, these are,
What's
these are, these are,
How much is that?
we don't know, because that's 3 years from now.
we have to
And
work on that. And that's part of like, expansion and, you know. Kind
Would
of
we
a one
take in
thing
any
at a
more,
time.
would we take in any more tax money for having that out there or?
No, but the laws are changing so much right now, that, we will figure out, we don't have that exact right now.
today, Jerry, we can't pay for that.
Right.
But there are several options that are either for, some are long shot opportunities. And again, if they keep changing Senate Bill 1 or Senate enacted 1, that the bill that screwed everybody up, then, there's more possibility for revenue and new revenue streams, not just taxing Jerry another, $100,000. It's just,
I'm okay with that.
But if we, it is a option to use TIF funds for personnel.
It can be done?
Yes, it can be done. It's not it's some people's opinion that it's not a good idea
It's
because,
just their opinion though.
right, because those laws can be changed, right? And so it's like,
Will
well,
be taken away from it then?
and it'd be taken away, so you're relying on something that.
Yeah.
And so, well, any of the laws can be changed and, all of this could be gone based off of something that gets, so if we establish it, then,
and the things that we need to stay out in front of are TIF districts as they keep talking about them. So let's take the Spruce Road project, right? That's gonna be in a residential TIF. We need to start shaping that conversation to say, before you grant that TIF, this is what we need out of it.
we need a portion cut out for
We need,
fire service.
so it's gonna require us to stay out in front of it. And we do a pretty good job of being in their face constantly to a point where they get tired of seeing us, but it's just
I think we're building good
report.
professional rapport with
Mhm.
some of the elected officials that are willing to have a backbone in this,
Little bit nervous times to be in Hudson Township too, so, let's just say all right, sounds like a great idea, $30,000. But then this bill goes through, what happens then to Hudson Township? Are we just kind of left out in the dust or?
No,
Well, it's not money that you're pulling out of your current budget. It would be
Okay.
money that is already in the township reserves or cash balances from EMS receivables. So it's not like we're asking for an additional amount of funds from each entity. It's just that we're asking to spend additional funds additional to what the current budget is. But we have the money. It's just not in the current budget. That's basically what.
and that's what Josh is referencing, not having that data yet, and still waiting on all the receivables to come in to confirm we're having a big enough cushion.
Sure.
and to your point, so get this, this is the side note, is say that LaPorte County goes, you know what? We're gonna have Kankakee cover you guys, and because they said they can do it. So now we have to divest 1/3 of our interest of what Hudson Township owes. But do you think that goes back to the residents that paid the taxes? It's not even gonna go to Kankakee Fire, to be completely honest. It's gonna go back to the county commissioners, and they're gonna do with it whatever they wanna do with it. That's that's the terrible part of this whole thing. That's what they haven't thought through, is that.
Go ahead, Josh.
Anyway, that's.
What's, yeah, so on our, budget, like for a year, what is like a total wage cost for us,
Say $2 million.
for wages?
Yeah.
So you're saying $1 million then would be what's gonna, up at this stage, like say 3 years from now, maybe more, maybe less, who knows?
But no, if we duplicate our staffing, I don't know if it'll be exact. But it'd be probably 1.8
Yeah.
that we need to staff
Yeah,
that,
I'd say
or
Probably,
1.5.
probably double it, around figure talking.
Yeah, you don't have all the admin staff that goes with it, so
Right.
you're saving that.
Yeah.
But understand, that's such a small fraction,
Yeah.
you know, of,
But you're doubling the cap.
but
So
you
I'm
have
just saying,
Yeah.
we need to come up
the
with
towns you get.
$1.5 million somewhere.
Yeah,
The town's got it.
So you were talking about the $30,000.
I haven't seen that.
I think it's in, G on Waterville, fire protection.
The other thing, I just remember what I read in the Capitol Chronicle, if this bill, it's a big if.
Right.
If this bill gets through and then the House approves it and doesn't make any changes to it, so there's a lot of ifs there. And if they did that, I think they said you had to wait until 2027 before they were
I
gonna,
think that I remember that.
yeah, end of 2027. You were asking when that would go into effect.
Yeah.
Just end of 2020. So it's not like June 1st comes in.
Yeah.
You're done,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no
It
matter,
means probably not on there.
no matter what happens with this,
Will's not on there, Bob would be. Minutes.
no matter what happens with this bill passing, this deal over here is still moving forward, I take it.
Basically,
Or we'll find out next Thursday,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess.
somebody's gonna, we need another station
Yeah.
out there. I mean, we can't,
Yeah.
this station is for the residents, basically.
In Hudson Township, basically.
Yeah, yeah, that's
The
why.
residential piece.
The residential piece of it.
Industry really is driving this new.
Yeah.
Now, that 30,000, is that's not each township or each entity, that's like 10,000 per entity, what it would be.
Right,
Yeah, but you have to think of it
it's
as.
not even that, honestly, Mike, because if you break it down
It's not-
based on, taxpayers, residents, it's more like,
He's not there.
uh, it's more like half Olive Township and then a quarter and a quarter, because that's basically how based on population, that's how the taxes get paid into the pot. So, and again, those are taxes that were already collected, or
Yeah.
sitting in the bank.
So it's an additional appropriation, so it's not, when you're talking about additional appropriation, you're not talking, what is it called? It's a referendum when you're asking for more money outside of your normal levy.
Right.
So this isn't a referendum. Referendum has to go to an actual ballot vote.
You're just, you're
Right.
just requesting to spend money that wasn't technically earmarked for anything.
Right,
Well,
you're
we
just,
didn't have to get a loan or anything.
no, it's accessing money that you either have in your account, it's accessing money that you already have in the bank account. We already have the money. We're just asking permission to spend it
Spend it.
because it wasn't on the budget that was approved by all of the boards. So we can't just go into the bank and say, oh, we have money, let's just spend it anyways. No, it has to be budgeted.
And any
So-
bond that got issued that would be, in theory, paid back by the TIF money, that would be from the county, right?
Correct,
We're not gonna be held liable.
correct.
Right, we would enter another MOU, memorandum of understanding. It would be in the township, it would be in the provider unit's name. And the MOU covers the money. So the MOU says, the county says, we're gonna give you the money for this. And that's your security for getting the funding for it. Right, so it's a guarantee that we're giving you this money. And so the county's giving us the money, so we still have control over that station. We're not having the county build it, because then we're gonna get a pole barn with, you know.
Candles.
Yeah, and then a couple porta johns in the back. And so, yeah, so we still control all of that. Am I
Yeah.
accurate in all of that? Yeah. So that's the way we've been pushing it anyways. Is
Now, with you putting the second station out there, if you did that, would you, put up another ambulance, so you have two full running ambulances?
So, not immediately, not until,
We have
there's
staff.
there's a little known, you would put the backup ambulance out there, right?
Right,
And so if you needed it, you could theoretically field it. But what I would say is that there's a formula about how much one ambulance can handle. And that, it's a way more than you may think. It's around 3,000 calls an ambulance can handle safely.
In a year?
And
3,000
we
calls,
would probably be closer
100 a
to
day.
1,800 because of our travel distance, so the ambulance can be out of service longer. Because we have a half hour either way, so you're talking an hour round trip just for transport. And
Yeah,
that would kind of
Uh-huh.
play that down a little bit versus a city department that's transporting within their jurisdiction. It's
So what-
back in service right away.
1 to 2 miles is way different.
But why does that matter as far as if I don't understand why,
now
why
couldn't you
why
just
would
put-
that matter as far as running two? If you have the paramedics to staff it, why not?
Right, if you have the
two?
people, then you just staff it.
Right,
That's the thing that was justifying the extra staffing.
but if
That's-
we're already gonna have people,
So,
the model is to actually have
so yes,
the,
but you're also then robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you will. So like currently, we have 5 people, right?
Mhm.
2 out in the ambulance, they're gone. They're in LaPorte at the hospital.
Right.
We get a second call. If you take 2 off of the engine, put them in that next ambulance, and now they're over at St. Joe with a patient. And now you get a fire, you got 1 person.
no, what I'm saying is that if we double our staff, so you've got, we have 6 is it 6 or 7 person per shift?
5.
Five, okay, but hopefully we get to the point of having 6. In theory, let's just say 6. And you have 2 on the ambo and you have 4 on the engine. And so those 2 people that are in this station, the paramedic and, what's the other?
Yeah,
Yeah, so those 2 people go out. You have another paramedic and another EMT, out there. And you're not robbing, you still have, at that point, 8 more firefighters that are still,
Yeah, you just
Yeah. or really
still
you
pull 2
have,
people off
2
of another
people.
piece of apparatus that's
right,
supposed to be staffed. It's just,
right, to chase.
it's a juggling.
Yeah, so you have 2 and 2. So if you had to, you'd still have 2 more people left at each station
Yeah,
than if
that's
you
like-
had to do another.
That's like right now, it's like Monday, that's how me and Josh ended up on an ambulance because our ambulance was in LaPorte when the pileup came in on the toll road. Well, paramedic and EMT, we hopped in the backup ambulance and now we had an ambulance responding also where previously we wouldn't have, or if it wasn't during the day and we weren't here. But between me and Justin, we try to utilize the second ambulance when we're available during the day.
Mhm.
How about Zach and Susie, are they ever out on anything?
Zach's an EMT, so he, actually him and Justin were out the other day on a
Mhm.
call. Susie, she's a firefighter, but most of that stuff is,
Yeah.
yeah, she's not comfortable doing that
It's
stuff.
expired.
She's expired.
Mhm.
More ways than one.
All right,
That'll be in the minutes.
anything else on this subject, boys?
Nope, I just, again,
Yeah.
and that was the bit. We encourage, your, all the board members to come, right?
For next-
So, for next week.
Thursday.
So,
Okay.
any,
Not just these people,
Not just these
all of the
folks.
board members.
all the board.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
that's-
So that when it comes,
Okay.
so that when
Be
it comes
here
to,
In spirit.
What's on the TV?
Is there gonna be room? you think?
yeah, we'll make.
Oh, yeah, we'll be fine.
So that, what we don't wanna have happen is that you have to go back to your board
try to
and
explain it.
re-explain this stuff.
And fumble it up.
Let these people, let your entire board have the
will.
opportunity to,
Mhm.
right, and
Just to
so,
understand it.
yeah. So we
Is
don't have to.
Pete gonna be there, for example?
Yeah.
Okay, he'd be a good guy to have there.
I mean, I think I have a pretty dumb understanding of it right
Yeah.
now, like
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Right,
Chad, are you in charge of refreshments?
Oh, yeah, we got it.
We'll bring that case of water right there. Water bottle.
I like,
Yeah,
I
we'll
like.
be very
gambling.
careful
Yeah.
to gently give it to you. You don't want you to drop it.
Bad draw.
I do want to add in here, this is not the full-blown architectural drawings. This is conceptual drawings. I think the full-blown ones are probably gonna cost, if it's the normal 10%, I mean, you're looking at like $2.5 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Architect.
But you'll get a floor plan, well, you're not gonna see any of that on Monday, or on Thursday. You'll get, floor plans, you'll get some visual renderings of what
Yeah.
the building, could look like.
So this is not gonna be like the ones we had for the renovation that were drawn with a ruler, not even a straight edge.
I mean, yeah.
He was
it's
a
not gonna
former
be, you know,
Drafting
Now
teacher.
now
I
you
was
see why
shocked
you
at
need to
this.
spend a little money
floor
to,
plans, yeah.
I had seventh grade
Get it
kids I
right.
taught to draw better than the craft, and I'm like, what? But, okay, we move on. All right, so any new business? I
business?
do wanna
bring,
so,
so.
wait, hang on, Will's got something. Go ahead.
Oh, on the, small group activities, do we want to solidify that tonight or?
No, I think that we really just need to give it, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And probably do that at our next regular meeting, not the
Okay.
special meeting next week, but the next regular. meeting.
So
Do
what,
we,
go ahead.
do we also want to put on that, do we need a committee for union negotiations? Because
Oh,
that
yeah.
is this year.
Yep, union negotiations will be, a small group. Which I implored the union to start getting that stuff together, because we need to know, I need to know for you guys, for the negotiating piece of this, what we can afford to do, what we can't afford to do, and, you know, all that. So,
For that, something to think about, if we're gonna have a committee, do we have any, I know that you were a firefighter for a long time. When, right, so when did you, you're not still active, right?
No, I left in, I think it was 13.
Okay, so I think that it was helpful when, Brian was in that process because he was a active firefighter and kind of knew the climate
Yeah.
really well and was able to provide some separation between you guys and the board to where we didn't rely on your influence, which is, you know, it kind of puts you in a little bit of a pickle.
yeah, it does.
So I don't know if
That's why I
we
try to
wanna-
stay out of it, because you know, the way firefighting is going, it just becomes, for a lot of places becomes unsustainable because it's keeping up with the Joneses. Now, you have to do enough to make sure that your people are happy. And we do a good job of that now. No point in the current CBA, there's holes in our current CBA, but they're not out of malice, right? They're very much, we didn't even really think about this, so, you know, we need to fix this. There are some things, though, from a management standpoint, that for me to change are hard no. We can't.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so if I can communicate that to you guys through a committee, that these are the things that we have to remain intact. Pay is pay. Pay is gonna continue to skyrocket because that's just stupid climate. It is, and I'm not saying that sounds terrible. What they do is worth rewarding them.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
But the state doesn't care about that.
The state does not care. That's the problem. And so how do we balance that? And care? Anyway, for
So,
another day.
what day are we meeting on? So like next month when we meet? Did
The
we
regular
decide on
meeting?
the third? Well, we switched because of Austin, but he's not with us in this year.
I'll
So
say
what
that,
are we on? The third Thursday at 5:30? Is that where we're
We
at?
were supposed to be last week, but because of that snowstorm and everybody needed to dig out, we changed it.
So on the second Thursday?
Yeah,
we were the last, because of Austin's change, we were the last Thursday, so 29th meeting is the actual one that was originally set.
But you're
We
talking.
were trying to have this meeting last week.
Okay, well, I mean, we can decide whatever we want, so it could either be like the
Right.
second, or is Thursday night good?
Somebody making
Good
out,
for the crew here?
I will say that
We're all good on Thursdays?
from a putting the report together standpoint, the third week is nice, if
Okay.
that works for people.
Is that,
third week, Thursday.
third week Thursday?
5:30 is a good time.
Okay.
So
All right.
our next one would
Okay.
be, or no, outside of
February.
next week, it would be the 19th.
Yeah.
I don't know, you don't have a
Yes.
Monday or Tuesday or
Yeah,
Wednesday.
because-
Yeah,
That's what-
Thursday,
Oh, I see.
Thursday, and then you got the fifth,
That's the
12th, and
19th?
the 19th, yeah. So 5:30.
You're at work the evenings.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, but. Not without.
Next meeting, and then plus.
You can get that time to speak by
I don't
9
mind.
evening.
Can't do that, I gotta,
Yeah.
In fact,
I'll let the board know they need to come to this meeting here.
yeah, and then just let them know, like,
You're gone?
I won't be able to be there, yeah.
That's next Thursday.
It's coming from.
I leave.
It's not-
I leave town.
We're talking about.
It'd be Allison and Nancy, right?
And Marcy.
Well, she's already on the board.
Is there anything left?
I don't have anything unless somebody else does.
Old business.
There's Haven will get this over.
we discussed
All right.
property
If
cards.
this thing moves through the.
No.
Okay, I did.
How about a motion to adjourn? Are we good with that?
Motion to adjourn.
Tim's got something yet.
I was just gonna say that since they're into second reading on the Senate bill, that means it should come up for a vote within the next 2 days, so I'll try to.
Well, we haven't been messing with, the Senate bill too much other than reading it, so we'll,
But that looks like the one.
yeah, we'll switch our efforts a little bit tomorrow and start messing with that.
I make a motion to
If it
adjourn.
goes through, I'll sit
We have a
down.
second?
Second.
Got that, Tim? Motion?
I don't have anything.
Right up here, baby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, see you guys next Thursday.
So
Thank you.
tomorrow's
Tim had the most perfect notes of any note.
Oh, did?
Yeah.
He was a reporter for the Daily